Here next to the house, I have little tiny whips. These are all Japanese maples from little maple starts that seeded themselves here, and I am going to dig them up and put them in these little black plastic pots from the nursery to give to a garden sale. Before I dig them up, I thought I'd do a little weeding, and I wanted to point out that this is lemon balm. And I believe that this is foxglove. I'm pretty sure that that is a weed though. The texture of the leaves is a little ribbed, and this one is much more smooth. I'm gonna leave the foxglove here, but I'm gonna pull out the lemon balm since it's so invasive and I have it everywhere in the garden already. For comparison, these are the foxglove that I started as an experiment this last summer when I cut off the spires from my existing foxglove and dropped them in my raised bed to see what would happen with the seeds. And then my raised bed broke, as I've shared, but these are what they look like, and you can see here the texture of the leaves, and that's why I'm pretty sure what I have growing next to the house is this type of plant. Well, I've dug up 3 so far, and I have 1, 2, and 3 more, and I think I have a new baby right behind it there. But to take this one out of the ground here, I'm going to have to remove the California poppy, which is kind of sad because they are so pretty in the spring. Poppies are very deep rooted. Let's see if I can get this out for you. Check out that root. Well, that one was harder to get out than I had anticipated because right here is the low voltage wire for our outdoor lights, and this little guy was growing around it, so I couldn't get out much of a root ball. I'm going to go ahead and pot it up in hopes that it does okay, but I did had to rip it out of the ground, which means some of the roots aren't going to be super healthy. All right, I have 4 of them potted up. Each is slightly different heights. This one only goes to here, then this one goes up to here, this one up to here, and then that one goes all the way up to there. And they all look really good. I just need to water them in. I did put a little slow release fertilizer in the cans to kind of keep them growing on. I did leave one right here that if I decide to replant a maple tree, I have a little baby to put in its place. Staying on theme with Japanese maples, I thought I'd show you this. Below the Japanese maple tree next to the house, right here at the base, which happens every year, I have tons of little babies growing in this space. Not sure how well you can see them, but there are quite a few here. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, but this tree is gonna have to come out. I believe we're actually gonna do it this year because it is girdling at the base. You can see here how the roots are cutting against the trunk, and this side of the tree is dying first, and it'll slowly move through the whole tree. I've shared in the past where limbs had died and we had to cut them out, and most of this limb here and part of the limb right there are dead. So rather than waiting for the tree to get weaker, we're going to go ahead and reevaluate what to do with this space and remove this tree. Thank you for joining me for my garden journey.